Hi. So the next three letters in 26 Days of Type are I, J, and K. I didn't want to do a written blog this time about this because these three letters are really important in how we adopt sustainable living practices. And the three letters and what the three ideas that these letters share, they kind of interconnected and dovetail into each other. So the three letters are I, which is essentially inspire and influence. J is join community, and K is kids. So now you know why they're interconnected. I'll talk about inspire and influence first, and then we'll get to join community and kids. I wanted to give you examples. So, a friend of mine, he is in Delhi. It's lockdown right now, so everyone is at home. And this friend of mine, he's extremely passionate about dogs and all life on the planet, but primarily dogs. He took the initiative of getting a pass done during the lockdown just so that the dogs don't go hungry around his area. So he started posting pictures, he started posting updates about what was happening every day and the action that he was taking along with a few of his friends and the community like-minded people. So what that did was that inspired and influenced how others looked at the situation and inspired action from the others, wherein there were people who wanted to do the same thing in their areas and feed strays and dogs so that they didn't go hungry. Now that's inspire and influenced me. Another example is of another dear friend. She quit her job a couple of years ago. We were together at one of the organizations. She's a life coach and a Helio life teacher. She's doing amazingly well. She's a single mother. Ordinarily, we'd think that it would be such a difficult place for her. And how would she be managing? Well, yes, it's tough for her. She manages and she's doing beautifully well. Her story inspired so many other people, so many other women, that they're also following their heart, and they've come out of their comfort zones, and she's created a small community of people, initially just where we are, which is Pune, and now she has people calling her and getting in touch with her from across borders internationally too. So she's not just inspired people, influenced their thinking on well-being and being mindful, and also acting out of that inspiration and influence. So that's inspire and influence. And when we talk about sustainable living, I think it's extremely important for us to talk about it, and not just talk about it, but inspire other people with our own action. And it's not just about action, it's also about consistently doing those actions, no matter how small or big they are. The second is join community. We get inspired all the time, right? And we also get influenced by how people think, and if something resonates with us, we also want to do it. But at the same time, it's action, right, where we really see the difference. And action is not easy. What you need is, and what has helped me as well in my own journey of living sustainably, or taking this journey with my family, is staying connected with like-minded people and seeing what others are doing. I may not know everything about sustainable living, but there are other people who are trying to live the same life, and they know a lot about how to live this life. So it's about joining community. The second letter is J, and it's about joining community. It's about learning from each other. It's about sharing with each other. The other thing is that if you're not able to act right now, don't feel bad about it, because you may have your own situations, you may have your own context, but at the same time, being in touch with the community, which is living sustainably, like in this case, you're at least it's not out of sight completely, and whatever is out of sight, we know for humans it's out of mind. So stay connected as much as possible with ideas of sustainability. The third is kids. This generation, our generation, is responsible for creating all the mess. It's our responsibility as well to fix it. However, we need to transfer that knowledge and that effort as well, so that it's a continued effort. We know that what we've done and the impact on the environment is not going to get reversed in our lifetime itself. It has to be passed on. So my third idea in 26 ideas is to involve kids as much as possible. It's also about building habits with children, right? And I try to do that as much as possible with Vedant, to the extent that one day we were working on Swadharani's product line packaging, and he wanted to give his own thoughts and views. He wanted to be a part of the problem solving, and he immediately went to the kitchen. He got out a cucumber, he scooped out all the pulp from the cucumber, and then he came up with this idea of, how about we make these hollow and process them in such a way that this becomes your packaging. I think for a child to think about, to come up with solutions like these, while they may not be practical, but it's very important, because somewhere he realizes that packaging needs to be biodegradable, that packaging needs to be normal, needs to be natural. And it was a wonderful way for him to learn about the issues that we are facing when it comes to the environment and the planet. And while this is covered in schools extensively, I do feel it's also time that we talked about sustainability at home, and openly so. We need to inspire our kids to live sustainably as well, as role models. So here are a few things that you can do as of now. How about just share, with the group, what is that one thing that you're doing every day which is zero waste, which is natural. It could be as simple as just applying oil. If a lot of us apply coconut oil at home, right? While to us it may be a very small thing, but actually if you look back, if you trace the steps back to how the alternative, which is creams and moisturizers, how they are made, how they are packaged, you would realize that we are actually avoiding using a lot of toxins on our body. We are avoiding sending that packaging to the landfill. So it's a huge step, right? So talk about it. Even if you're using coconut oil, talk about your recipes that you're making at home. For example, a friend of ours, he made waffles the other day, Belgian waffles from scratch. And Belgian waffles from scratch, I think most of us rely on the packaged dabba for pancakes and waffles. He made it at home, and that's such a wonderful way of going zero waste, right? So talk about it, talk about these things, and inspire each other, influence each other. The second thing that I would say is that if you really resonate with this topic, I think it's important that we get others involved too. Even people who may not be interested at this point in time, but I'm sure they would see value in it a couple of days or a couple of months or a couple of years down the line. And at that point, information should be available to them. And I think we can expedite that by also proactively sharing our own journeys and communities that we are a part of. So how about you invite at least 2 to 3 people from your network onto this group, and talk to them about it. And kids, of course. How about, I don't know, maybe just take a small video with your children, talk to them about sustainability, do a poem, do some drawing, and then, share it with the world. I think that would be a beautiful thing to see. So that's all that I wanted to share today. Stay inspired, influence people, join community, and get the kids involved. Thank you. Bye.